Hi and welcome in this video. In this video I will talk about how you can deal with toxic people, and I will also talk more about the long-term solution. So first of all, how you can recognize people that have toxic patterns. Okay, actually I don't like to say too much toxic people because at the end these people they are unconscious, you know. It's not like they really are conscious and aware of what they do to you, but it's still important to know how to deal with these kind of people, you know. So the first thing is it's that you understand it's not about what they say, it's about who they are, because very often they hide these kind of traits, you know. Toxic people or people that have these toxic patterns, they have certain traits, like for example that they try to control you, to fix you, or they don't accept you how they are. From my perspective, one of the biggest trait how you can recognize that these people are not good for you is when you can't be your true self in front of them. Because if you are your true self, they start to judge you or try to fix you or control you, say to you that it's not the right thing, you should be different, and you know, that kind of stuff. Especially if you talk, for me it was like that in the past when I was talking about my real goals, something not that society told me, you know, my own goals. And then the people that had these toxic patterns or low self-esteem, they started to judge me and tell me this is how you what you should do, don't do this and that kind of stuff, you know. So it's important just to recognize, okay, it's not about what they say, it's about what is behind their words, you know, what is behind their words. So look out for patterns. What are the patterns of them? How do they behave? What is behind their words? It's not about what they say, it's more about how they say it, you know, because it's very often disguised. So this is a really important thing, yeah, to recognize these kind of people. And another thing that you can do is also to ask yourself, what is the reflection of that? It's also the same if you believe it could be that you are an environment that has a lot of these toxic patterns, then ask yourself, what is the reflection of this environment? What does the environment reflect back to me? Because what I mean is, what are the emotions that are coming back to you, you know, or what is the true energy of this environment? You can recognize that by asking yourself this question. And it's also based on the law of I don't know how this law is called, to be honest, but it's about that the universe reflects to us things back, or certain environments reflect to us things back. The environments reflects back to us what they truly are, what their true values are. This is what they will reflect back to us. So when the environment is toxic, but they have these masks, like they are happy people, they just want to help. I was one time in such environment back in the past. Then you still feel bad. It's like they have these masks, but in reality they are complete different people. Okay, so now let's talk about the solution. A lot of people, they talk a lot about setting borders and such stuff. I don't think that this will help with people that have really toxic patterns, from my perspective, because that's exactly why setting borders doesn't help, because these people usually ignore that. They don't give a fuck about that, you know. And I talk here also about such cases when it's a family member. You maybe live with this family member. Even if you set borders, if he doesn't care, he will just go your border again and again, right? So the first thing is you make a plan how you can create physical distance. And it's not just if they hit you, it's also about to reduce the psychological damage. So you want to create as much space as possible, you know? You want to create as much space as possible between them and you. Because the more close you are to them, the easier they can influence you, you know? The more they will project their stuff into you, the highest the chance that they will influence you. So you want first create a plan, and then when the time has come, you will use that plan to go somewhere else. So my plan when I was in a environment that has toxic patterns, I had such members from my family, and my plan was, okay, I had back then a mentor, and he helped me to create a plan how I can get away from this place. And then I basically used this plan to create as much distance as possible. And of course, it's recommendable that you don't write back to them and don't call that much, you know. Another thing that I can tell you based on my experience, one thing it's always so difficult, for example, when it's from your family, or when the toxic people are from your family, or they are friends that you with who you had a very long friendship with, you know. The thing is, when you now create physical distance, or even before you create a physical distance, you will have emotions and thoughts of guilt very often, because you have this belief, for example, they are my family, so I have to spend time with them. I had these beliefs, but I understood it's not about the DNA or the genetics. A good place is really actually where you feel safe and you can trust. And an even better place is when you have people with similar values and similar vision as you, right? So no matter if they are your family or where they come from, if they suppress your true self, it's bad for you. So you recognize, ask yourself this question: what do you believe in that creates this feelings of guilt? What do you believe in that creates for you these feelings of guilt? That you have to be there for them, even though they hurt you, you know? So question these beliefs. Many people think, okay, I have this feeling of guilt. This means I should not do it. I should not create distance and live my own life. It's actually turned around. It's more that the feeling of guilt is in this way bad because it doesn't come from you. It was implanted in you. You know, you were conditioned to believe that. It was at the core, it was not your emotion. It comes from someone else. This is actually how toxic people or people that have toxic patterns operate. They create you emotions of guilt and shame. And because you have this shame, emotions of shame and guilt, you will stay in this place, and this will create even more feelings of shame and guilt. So you have to recognize that actually by letting go of these emotions, you can be free. That is actually, the more you stay with these people, the more emotions, the more such emotions you will have. This is one important thing for me to when I recognize family is not about, for example, DNA. It's about having a safe place, you know, when I can be myself. So this is really important to know, because otherwise you will all just tell yourself the same story. Because he was for such a long time a friend of me, I need to stay with this guy, or I need to stay with this woman, I need to stay with this man, I need to stay with his friends. You don't need to. So these feelings of guilt, they recreate the story. It's important that you first question these feelings and create physical distance. And now we come to the other steps. So to really let go of such people, it's not enough to actually create physical distance. It's just the first step to reduce their influence over you. Now, the second thing is actually that you learn to let go of emotions, because these people are not just with you on a physical level, they are already in you if you have lived with them. You know, what I mean is they have projected their emotions into you. And to fully let go of them, you have to release these emotions from your subconscious. Okay, and how do you do that? I will link a video here about how you can let go emotions. Okay, you do that in short by experiencing these emotions or such incidents fully. You re-experience and you feel it. You first become aware of the reaction when you have a very strong emotional response, and then you observe. You just observe everything that happens in your body. How do you feel? Where is this emotion? And you can also ask us a question, where does this memory come from, to re-experience it fully. It can be really hard, but it's worth it. And you need to be very patient and yeah, with you, and to have empathy. So this is the one thing. And the other thing is to let go of these people on a mental level. And what I mean is the beliefs. The beliefs maybe that you need to stay with them, or the beliefs that you are not good enough, that we're coming from them. So you have to question these beliefs. Like, is it really true? What is the absurdity about it? By questioning the beliefs, by finding something irrational, for example, in these beliefs, something that makes absolutely no sense, you weaken these beliefs, and you can just practice to weaken them more and more. But I recommend you really to do that after you have released your emotions. It will be way easier to change the beliefs from a place of acceptance. Many people, they don't consider that, and they start instantly to change the beliefs, but this will be not enough, really. So these are the things basically. The last steps are to let go the emotions, to accept the emotions, in other words, fully. And like I said, I will link the video about that. And the other thing is to question the beliefs, and then to find new beliefs. Like when you thought you were not good enough, to just choose the opposite belief. The opposite is usually the right belief, like from I'm not good enough to I'm good enough. So this is really important, because what will happen if you don't do these last steps? Even though you don't have contact anymore with them, you will attract similar people. You will attract like duplicates of these people. Even if you, like, let's say you have toxic members in your family, even if you won't attract your father and your mother, you'll attract maybe new forms, such people and friends, and and other kind of people. So the cycle will just go on and on. So it's important to let go of them on these three levels, like physical, you know, mentally, and emotionally. So physical, emotional, mentally. Actually, the mentally is the last part, because I really recommend you to first release the emotions. Yeah, this is how you let go of these toxic people. I always question this emotions of guilt. Usually, they try to get recreated. The more you stay with such people, the more guilt you have. The more guilt you have, the more you think it's right to stay with them, because they need you, or you need to save them. Question that. If you think you have to save them, what will happen if this cycle continues? Ask yourself this question. Question your beliefs and the emotions, the patterns. Okay, I hope this video helped you. You can share your experience, what helped you to deal with toxic people. And if you like this channel, then subscribe to my YouTube channel, and see you next time. Bye bye.